As president, I would do everything in my power to increase access to higher education. That's why I'm going to legalize all substances on school campuses, especially for teachers. I read in a book once that fruit grows on trees, and unfortunately, many of our towns and cities don't have fruit growing on the trees. So I would federally fund the planting of fruit trees everywhere. A big part of my agenda is to have everything be fruity, just fruits everywhere. And I know what you're thinking. If there's just fruits everywhere, isn't that going to attract bears? Yeah, probably. Bears do love fruits. America is a big place, and cities are far apart, and we need better transportation between cities. So that's why I'm going to fund the construction of high-speed rails. I'm going to rail Chicago. I'm going to rail Milwaukee. I'll rail Portland and Houston. I'm going to rail everybody from New York to LA. Everybody better get ready, because I'm going to rail you. I'm going to give federal grants to small business owners so that they can hire new employees. It's like a government handout, but it creates jobs. So it's like a hand job. We're going to give hand jobs to small business owners. But big businesses like Amazon and Walmart, they're not going to get any hand jobs. We're going to put it on buttons. No hand jobs for Jeff Bezos. And of course, my wife would be the first lady. First ladies always have their charitable work that they do. Michelle Obama coined the term be better, while Melania used the term be best. Kirsten's going to follow up that trend with be bisexual. She's going to start a nonprofit that does workshops and support groups for sad straight women. It'll be called Often Neglected and Only Nurturing Others Organization, but it'll be better known for the acronym Oh No, No Oh. I've already picked out my presidential cabinet. It's this one right here. I think that would look great in the White House. I picked it because I love a good, dark, hard wood. But watch out for hard points. Pointy. But another part of my agenda as president would be to rehaul our city bus system. There are way too many cars on the road and not enough people taking public transportation. So we'll start offering tax breaks for people who ride public buses. And on Saturdays, we're going to start having public buses take day trips to state and national parks. The goal is just to get people to do a lot more bus stuff. The more bus stuff, the better. People will be like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? You want to do bus stuff with me? Now, I know a lot of people are afraid to do bus stuff. They think it's dirty or bad. But I'm telling you, we're going to have lots of opportunities for clean, safe bus stuff. You don't even know what fun you could be missing. As President of the United States, I would address an issue that faces many Americans today. As most of our jobs have moved online, it's become very difficult for us to separate our work and personal time. We get digital communication, emails, text messages, phone calls around the clock from employers, solicitors, debt collectors, all kinds of professional communication. So we're going to create mandatory no professional communication hours. So if you work a 9 to 5, your employer will not be allowed to contact you from 6 to 9. 6 to 9 is your time. You can 6 to 9 however you want with whoever you want. You can 6 to 9 with your significant other. You can 6 to 9 with your friends. My wife and I like to 6 to 9 outside on a hammock. In fact, go ahead and turn your phone off and get some personal one-on-one time with the people that you love. So if I'm elected president, you'll finally be able to tell your employer, leave me alone. It's 6 to 9 time. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to run as a Democrat or as a Republican. The problem is that I care about people, and both of those parties require their candidates not to. So we're going to have to make a new political party. This is a party where we will address key issues that the American people face every day, and that's why we're going to call it the Key Party. Making a new political party is very difficult. Or maybe it's easy, I don't know. But if we all come together, I know the Key Party will be a success. Because those other parties really only serve the top 1% of wage earners in the United States. But we at the Key Party want to empower the bottom 99% of America. The Key Party is the power bottom party. And as a new party, we need a new party mascot. The Republicans have the elephant, the Democrats have the donkey, and we, the Key Party, are going to be the bears, obviously, because bears love fruits. And we're the fruitiest party in the land. As President of the United States, there's an issue that I would want to address, and that is inequitable access to banking and financial institutions. People who look like me in the United States have a much easier time accessing financial institutions, and most banks in the United States are owned and operated by people who look like me. So as president, I would develop federal incentives for black-owned banks, like One United, to build new branches that are walkable from black communities. We're going to call these banked black communities, or BBCs. We are going to erect BBCs all over America, and we can expect to see a lot of growth within these BBCs. Because historically speaking, Black financial institutions have been very successful until white people tear them down. Historically, white communities that are struggling economically have been very intimidated by the idea of black communities that are succeeding economically. So we're also going to identify these Caucasian underperforming commerce sectors, which we'll call CUCs. And we'll start some education programs in those areas to explain to them that the superior performance of BBCs is not responsible for the shortcomings of CUCs. And in fact, the introduction of those BBCs could be mutually beneficial. As President of the United States, healthcare would be my #1 priority. And the obvious solution to America's healthcare conundrum is Medicare for all. But some people think that the name Medicare makes it sound like a handout. Those are people who hate the idea of their own tax dollars benefiting them. So to get them on board, we're going to rename the program. It's not going to be called Medicare, it's going to be called the Patriot Care Plan, or PCP for short. As an incentive, in America's first 5 years on PCP, we're going to give out t-shirts when you go and get your first Patriot Physical. Patriot Physical is a bit long to put on a t-shirt, so the t-shirts are going to say, I love peepees. So whenever you see someone wearing a shirt that says, I love peepees, you know that is a true patriot. That they've taken a peepee for their country, because true patriots utilize preventative care. And you might be thinking, how are you going to pay for this program, Doug? PCP sounds expensive. Well, that's why we put the word patriot in there. We're going to call this a military expense. How can you ever expect to have a healthy military if half your country can't afford to go to the doctor? And if we put it in the military budget, we can spend as much as we want. And Congress will approve it every single time, with zero oversight on how responsibly the money is spent. As President of the United States, I would like to make a lot of reforms. We're going to hit them with healthcare reform. We're going to hit them with prison reform. We're going to hit them with financial reform. We're going to hit them with educational reform. It's going to be hit after hit after hit after hit. And we're not going to do them one at a time. We're going to focus on each shit all the time. Each shit in the morning, each shit in the afternoon, and each shit at night. It's going to be eat shit all week, and then guess what we're going to do on the weekends? Eat shit. And of course, we're going to have campaign buttons that say, eat shit for America. And during the presidential debates, when they ask me, Doug, what will you focus on for your first 100 days as president? And I'll look them square in the eyes and I'll say, eat shit. Eat shit for America for 100 days at least. And then the moderator and my opponents and the American people will know how seriously I take the office of the presidency of the United States. And 100 years from now, historians will look back on this time, on all of the great reforms that we've made. And they'll say, man, the eat shit era, that's really what turned our country around. So vote for Doug. Eat shit. Get railed. Because at this point, why not?